Good afternoon. It's Sunday, May 30th. I want to talk about permission. I sort of hinted at it in yesterday's talk about self-care because you have to give yourself permission to take the time or take the time and spend the money or whatever's involved. Generally, the only person that's keeping you from doing it is you. Occasionally, there are outside forces that monopolize your time and so forth. And this permission thing, actually, it's one of the first articles, essays that's in that blog, um, because it really cuts to the core of being an artist, and to some extent to being an adult in any field. So we grow up, depending on our settings, with varying degrees of parental control, societal control, so forth. And we each internalize them differently. And some people grow up as rebels and, as such, spend their time in prisons. Other forms of rebels, become entrepreneurs and are proclaimed as geniuses. Okay, I don't know if that's luck of the draw or just careful planning. Whatever you're doing, whatever your enterprise, whether it's keeping yourself on a diet or choosing a restaurant or something, or deciding to be an artist, there are permissions that you have to come into play. And for instance, when I was starting off, I didn't own a house. I was a renter, which meant I was absolutely dependent on what my landlord or landlady would permit in terms of me having a kiln. My current kiln, for instance, is hardwired into the house on the line that would normally feed an electric stove. Okay, that's not the sort of thing you generally get permission to do from a landlord or landlady. In this case, we were lucky enough to be buying the house, and so we can do that. On the other hand, I live in town. I haven't even attempted to figure out what permissions I would need to have a gas kiln, natural gas kiln, or a propane kiln, or, God forbid, a wood-fueled kiln. Maybe there are no permissions. I don't know. Maybe it's just do it, be free, be free. But I suspect there are. And what you find is you sort of have to poke around and do a little research. I would like to do this. Okay. You would like to do this, but you don't feel like you can. Okay. So what are the write them out. What are the reasons? Why don't you think you can? Okay, I'm living inside city limits in a residential neighborhood in a town that, God forbid, they have regulations about how many trees I can have. Literally, the city came by and was going to write me up for having too many trees. Lawrence, Kansas. Anyway, write the list. Think about it. Figure out, are you limiting yourself unnecessarily? As an artist, you want to try things. You want to figure out where the boundaries are and do what you can there. Nobody gave me permission to make clay armchairs. If anything, there were some people who were trying to tell me not to. So, do what you can and try to be clear-eyed about what that is. What can I do? Am I holding myself back? Or are there actual rules that mean I cannot do it at this time in this location? Have a good day.